you today. We are talking about how to prepare for a new nutritional protocol or lifestyle change that you want to make. Sometimes we just randomly go right into it without any preparedness, and sometimes we take a long time and it's tough to make that final action step to fully get into your plan. So we want to talk through some things today on how and what questions to ask yourself. How do we do this? What is the process? What should you be asking yourself to make sure it's the right protocol for you, or how you are going to succeed in this and what steps you need to take? So before we get going, if you're new to our community, we want to reintroduce ourselves. I am Casey Kephart. I'm the founder of the Feel Good Formula, and I'm a functional medicine nutritionist. I work with women with all different types of autoimmune diseases to get you back to the activities you love to do and get your life back, trash those symptoms. And I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, where the sun always shines. Jessica?
And I'm Jessica Melnick. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, the founder of the Anti-Arthritis Method, the host of the Happy Joints Arthritis Solutions Group, and I help both women and men with various forms of arthritis get back to living life the way you choose to, not the way you have to. So, and I apologize for the mix-up this week. I messed up the times with the time change because we do not change time in Saskatchewan. So I got confused and we missed our time on Tuesday. So we're here this Thursday. We'll be back again on our regular schedule next week. And also next Thursday, I'll be back with a new recipe for you guys as well. So sorry about the confusion, but we are back.
Yes. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. The first step that Jessica and I thought of was, first of all, what protocol are you leaning towards? Is it the autoimmune protocol? Is it a Mediterranean? Is it a keto? Whatever you're thinking, what is it? And have you made the decision to do it? Put it in concrete. When are you doing it? So a couple things with this is, have you researched the protocol indefinitely? Do you know what it is? Do you know what foods are involved and not involved? Or do you know what lifestyle tricks and hacks there are and what you need to do to make that happen? Does this protocol address your specific needs, or are you doing it for a non-necessity reason? And oftentimes, if you're doing it for a non-necessity reason, you won't really follow through with it, right? So is this addressing your goals, your health concerns? Is it going to make you better? And is it realistic and doable for your schedule, for your family and your family schedule, for your mentality wise? Can you wrap your brain around it? Some protocols out there claim to have really good results and benefits, but it's impossible to do. So are you able to actually follow through and do this protocol based on your mentality, physically, emotionally, schedule-wise, all of the things? So asking yourself those questions is a great first step. Jessica?
Yeah. And again, another thing, after we've decided what protocol we're doing and whether or not this is feasible to actually incorporate into our current lifestyle, another thing we want to consider is having a teacher, a coach, having support, and having a community. So things like what Casey and I do in our programs is we are guiding our clients step by step through a new nutritional protocol and sometimes lifestyle tweaks as well, because we know that making a change in the way that we eat can be challenging. And, we can also get really caught up in so much online researching and books and all this stuff. And sometimes it's really confusing because there's a lot of conflicting information and we're not sure, who to follow and who's correct and what's actually going to work. And, by the time we're ready to start something, we're so tired and we're not even sure if we're going to be doing it right. So, for example, Casey and I guide our clients through literally a step-by-step process to simplify the new nutritional protocol down to, baby steps, paint by
Mhm.
numbers. You just have to follow along. So we've done all that background research for you. So then you don't have to. It just simplifies it so much. And I know for myself, I don't know about you, Casey, but when I started eating the way that I eat now for my autoimmune form of arthritis, I was just overwhelmed with the
Yeah.
amount of information and the amount of change I had to make, and learning just this new way of eating and cooking and new foods and all the things. And oh my goodness, it would have saved me so much time and energy to just have somebody that could have said, okay, do this, and here's the plan, and just like start here and then go through it step by step. It would have
Yeah.
made a huge difference.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main things I think that is super helpful. Unless you're one of those super independent unicorns who loves doing these things on your own, I think most of us mere mortals like to have some guidance and support.
It's funny, as I get older and as I get more and more burnt out with life and job and business, I can't be bothered anymore to do my own research and then do things on my own anymore. It's like, who can help me? Where are the resources already done for me? Let's not reinvent the wheel. So I gravitate now more towards courses, more towards a coach, more towards people just to tell me what I want to do for my exact goal. I'm not putting my goals and my health in their hands, but once I make the decision of what I want to do, and I find somebody who just can tell me exactly how to do that goal and make sure I'm accountable towards it. It is less work, it's more money, yes, but that's worth it to me. So I don't have to burn out even more in researching and trying to figure out what is true, what is not true, who do I believe, et cetera, et cetera. Do the work to find the person who can give you the answers that you trust. End of day.
Absolutely. And I think too, like once you've decided if you want to have that guidance or not, let's talk a little bit about how support and having like community and accountability can really help you. So oftentimes we have very loving family members who, want us to feel better and they want to support us, but they don't entirely get it as much as somebody who has been there and someone who really understands what kind of health
Mhm.
that you're experiencing and what is actually involved in making those nutritional changes. So having someone to talk to that really understands, and also to give you that support that you might not be getting at home, when your family is eating potato chips in front of you or whatever it is that they're having, it makes it so much easier, and we tend to be a lot more successful statistically in following through with the plan when we do have others that we are accountable to and that support us.
Yep, exactly. There's an end goal. There's people that have already reached the end goal that you are inspired by, that you are driven towards. But when you keep the people in your everyday life and they're not motivating you, it's hard to get motivated by yourself and see that you can do it also. Um, so community is huge, and you get to decide what that looks like and means to you. Nobody, there's no right way of community. I mean, I guess there is. The community should uplift you and inspire you, right? If they're not doing that, that's the wrong community. But anything other than that, this is on you and what feels good to you.
Absolutely.
Um, the next step in developing a new nutritional protocol is looking at the recipes and menu planning and what this is going to involve for you. So, do you have a variety of food and meals so you don't get bored and reach for that chocolate? Are you batch cooking? Do you have leftovers in your fridge so you don't reach again for that chocolate? Does the process of meal prepping and cooking and researching and planning stress you out? Should you look at meal delivery ideas? And are there meal delivery ideas or people in your specific protocol? I know there's paleo ones, there's AIP ones, there's keto, there's Mediterranean. If you're doing anything different, are there ways that people could cook and deliver for you if you don't like the meal prepping, planning, batch cooking process? However, some people find it really fun to do the planning, look at recipes and look at the pictures and save them and create them. Others are like, hell no, I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean. I don't want to spend my time doing this. And then you have to make a choice from there. Is that mentality going to stop you from doing this protocol and succeeding? Can you get over that hate and learn to like it? Because that happens all the time in our programs with people. Or are you just not going to do it at all and find somebody to do it for you? Take that pressure off of your plate, but you can still make it happen. So, what I've learned just with changing mentality and shifting my way of thinking is that there's always a way to do things. It just might not be the first thing that you think of. So if you want to do a protocol, but let's say you hate cooking, that doesn't mean you can't do the protocol. It means we need to find another way to be able to do it. And options are limitless. And asking yourself, who can I rely or who can get this done for me and how to get this done for me starts to get those wheels turning. So those are a lot of things to think of when thinking about doing a new protocol. But also we want to start thinking about the barriers to that too. What happens if you don't have food prepared? What are you going to do? Are you going to cook right away? Are you going to eat out? Are you going to do X, Y, and Z? Are you willing to invest in the quality food, the specific protocol foods that may be more expensive? Like in our protocol, the autoimmune protocol, we often, or we do, encourage organic foods more than not. We encourage pasture raised or grass fed beef. Are you okay with buying those things, knowing that it will pay off for you in the end, health wise and medical bills wise? Do you not have the budget for it? Do we need to rework some things? Those are some things to think about too. And then how are you going to do this? How are you going to menu plan, prepare, batch cook? Are you going to go on Pinterest? Are you going to go on Google? Are you going to go on blogs? How are you going to save them? Are you going to write it down? Are you going to take pictures of it? Are you just going to keep it all in your head? We need an organization to finding and preparing these meals and recipes for ourselves. When we're more organized and we've thought this through beforehand, it makes everything so much easier moving forward. I know for me, I use Pinterest a lot for recipes and I just save them in like my AIP board or my dairy-free board, my paleo board. There's so many different things I have, which makes it very organized for me. But if you're just going on Google, finding blogs, which is another great idea, are you bookmarking these? Are you taking pictures of them? How are you getting back to these? And I know it's something so silly to think about and do, but it's going to save us so much time and energy and dread later on.
Absolutely. Yeah, and these are things we often bring up like on my group calls with my clients. We're always talking about, like customizing ways to make this process simpler depending on your own personal needs. Everybody's got a different schedule or, maybe some different dietary preferences and different ways that they structure their week. And so we often talk about, my clients ask me all the time, well, Jessica, what are you eating? Or, how do you make this food or that food? Or, we just talk about new ideas and stuff like that. And it's so nice to have that support so that you're able to stay on track with it and have some new ideas if you're kind of getting stuck and you're struggling to make this, to integrate this into your life and have it, as your consistent way of eating. So there's always new things that you can try and ways that you can tweak it to simplify it.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, why don't we talk about the barriers that can come up and different events. So this is huge, and I know, Casey, you get asked this all the time too. It's like, what do I do? Am I going to start this protocol because I'm going on holidays in a month, or I'm going out of the country, or I have a wedding to go to, or this other event? And my answer to that is there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be a celebration. There's always going to be some kind of event. There's always going to be something that comes up that's unexpected. There's always going to be, a vacation or something like that. And so what we have to do is we have to plan ahead, and we have to figure out what we need to do our best to stay on track while we are, at this event. And even if we want to 100% stay on track, or just partially stay on track and then start fresh again at the next meal. So it's always planning ahead. I can never stress planning ahead enough. And my clients all have learned that, and they've all said that too.
Mhm.
Planning ahead, picking the recipes that they want to eat, making sure that they have their groceries available ahead of time, or if there's anything specialty that they need to order online, that they're doing that in advance. So planning ahead really is key to following through with a nutritional protocol. And that's, one of the barriers I think that there is just like recognizing that there's always going to be something, and you just do the best that you can. It doesn't mean you have to throw the whole thing out the window because there's a special event, or, it's your sister's wedding or something. It doesn't mean that you have to throw your whole protocol out the door. You can adjust and then get right back on track immediately after. And I wanted to comment to Casey on kind of that mindset thing, as this also comes up with my clients a lot too. And I have amazing clients, and they, like, most of them have such a positive outlook. And one of the things they always say to me that they've really learned, at least the one, like, clients who are really successful, is that they have this mindset of, it's not that I can't have this or I can't have that, which is really negative and can really be discouraging for people.
Mhm.
But they look at it as a choice. They're looking at it as like a self-loving choice to feed their body foods that are really healing and nutritious. And they look at it as, I'm choosing to do this for myself,
Yeah.
as an act of self-care and self-love and healing. And having that positive outlook is so much more going to propel you forward than white knuckling it and, feeling like you're deprived and telling yourself that you hate what you're doing. So there's a huge difference there in mindset. And because mindset can really be a huge barrier, because as humans, we tend to always have this negativity bias, and we're always looking at the negative or recognizing the negative more often than the positive. So just being aware that our brain's automatically going to go there, and having to reframe things in a more positive light, and figuring out how you can make it a more positive experience. And that's what part of having a coach to guide you through this process is there
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say that too. A mindset coach, or a coach who understands mindset as well as the nutrition part of it, is very important. And that's something that you can ask too when you're interviewing these coaches, is like, do you emphasize mindset in this? Is there any help with that? What about lifestyle approaches when doing this nutritional protocol? So those are some great questions when you're trying to find a coach too. Even having the awareness that we need a mindset shift too is very big. So if you're not aware of that your mindset is inhibiting your success, I hope this talk right now is helping you just plant some seeds and start questioning your mindset and noticing it. The last one would be your timeline. How long are you going to do this protocol for? Again, with your mindset, is this something that you're telling yourself you need to be on forever and be 100% strict on forever? I don't know about you, but for me, when I tell myself forever, I don't do it. I mess up, I get really mad at myself, and it, like, everything goes out the window. So for me to trick myself, for lack of a better word, 14 days, 30 days. And then I can decide from there how I'm feeling, if this is easy, if I need to tweak some things, if I want to keep going or not. With something so serious as an autoimmune disease, though, I would highly encourage you to reevaluate at, whatever that timeline was, 14 or day 30, and keep going with it. But whatever you need to do in your mind to make you keep going with it is what's important. Again, it's a mindset thing. And yes, eating for an autoimmune disease is a lifelong journey, but that doesn't mean you need to be lifelong 100% strict. You need to stay on track, but that's going to just look different for you as you get better at this. Because let's say, for example, in the beginning of my celiac journey, I needed to be gluten free for the rest of my life, right? Like there's no yes or no I can eat gluten. With celiac disease, it's never again, never. In my mind, that scared me. I could never eat bread again. I could never do this. But fast forward 10 years later now, it's not even an option for me to cheat with bread or with gluten. That is just something I never ever think about again. But it took a long time for that transition to happen where my mind didn't go to like, oh, 2 bites of carrot cake will be fine, Casey. I learned the hard way multiple times it's not fine. But what I'm trying to say here is that your mindset is going to shift the longer you do this. So making sure that we have those small goals and know that it won't be like this forever, that it's a challenge for you to make this happen. A lot of our people who've been on AIP and start reintroducing foods to more of like a paleo lifestyle, it's easy for them now. I mean, there's always going to be a challenge, but they're no longer saying, "Oh, if only I could have a cheeseburger right now." You know, it's different. It shifts. So knowing that everything is temporary might be a good mindset shift too. Okay, I'm done with that rant. And then, yep, are we going to be 100% the whole way? That's what we just talked about. And then what happens after this protocol is done for you? After that 30 days, what are you going to do? So figuring that timeline out for yourself and what you need to say is probably one of the most important parts to succeeding. So don't skip that step when deciding on a protocol for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know that this is a lot of information, and I know that starting a new nutritional protocol can be really overwhelming for a lot of people. Maybe you listening, that's something you're just like, oh, I would love to learn how to eat for my arthritis or my autoimmune condition, but I just don't know where to start. And that's what we're here for. So if this resonated with any of you, and you're looking for professional support, contact Casey or myself. If you have arthritis, give me a call or send me an email, send me a message, and get in touch with Casey if you've got an autoimmune condition of pretty much any sort, right?
Yeah, just an autoimmune disease. Come at me.
Yeah, we're here to help you. So we can definitely talk to you about the services we offer and what that actually would look like to work together. So if that's something that you've been looking for and you need help with, then be sure to be in touch with us.
Yeah, definitely. If you have any questions, comment below and we'll be sure to answer them. Until then, everybody have a good weekend, and we will be back on Tuesday with another fun topic for you. And if you ever have any ideas of topics, please let us know. We're always open for ideas, always.
Yeah, we're curious to know what you would like to know.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.